Welcome to Ryan Murphy's Netflix and The Politician, the powerful director, producer and showrunner's first project for the streaming juggernaut. Hired for over $300 million, he's proved his worth with a series of hit shows that have become cultural benchmarks, including Glee, The People, The O.J. Simpson and The Assassination of Gianni Versace, and perhaps especially Pose. And now with long-time collaborators and co-creators, Brad Falchuk and Ian Brennan, he presents the tale of moneyed teenager Peyton Hobart, played by Tony Award winner Ben Platt, who has dreamed since he was 7 of becoming President of the United States. And at his interview for Harvard, the Dean notes that it's become an increasingly popular goal now that the air of impossibility has been removed. Peyton is emphatic, a certainty beyond his years. The presidency is about television and celebrity, he says. People like to think of their presidents as characters. They see them on TV, most never see them in real life. And Peyton does nothing that is not in pursuit of his ambition, with few interests or passions outside his presidential dream.
I will fight for each and every one of you, so long as there is strength in me to fight.
He's determinedly built on the innate advantage of his rags to riches story. Born the unwanted child of a cocktail waitress from the landing strip Gentlemen's Club in Laconia, New Hampshire, and adopted by Gwyneth Paltrow's matriarch of a fabulously wealthy family. He studied the greats from Ronald Reagan, the first television president, onwards, amassed all the extracurricular points he can, read nothing but political power players' biographies, and is now running for student president. Though it doesn't go completely to plan, and his campaign begins to falter when his former lover, River, handsome and much more empathetic, stands against him. That is, until tragedy strikes.
Because I see you.
The show initially presents itself as a kind of series depicting a high school election, as an outside allegory of the putrefying US political system. But according to its creators, it's much more of an attempt to start a cultural conversation about class and privilege. Murphy directs the pilot episode with his characteristic operatic and cinematic skill, revelling in the juxtaposition of the beautiful and the ravishingly monstrous. Shot with the same sense of aesthetic fascination that characterises anything he touches. He loves swooping crane shots that sweep down on his characters at intense moments as though to anticipate their thoughts or to propel us to the next outrageous plot development. At times, The Politician is wonderfully camp and entertaining, though Murphy disdains the notion of camp, believing the expression describes not irony, but something closer to clumsiness, the accident you can't look away from. He prefers the idea of what he calls Baroque storytelling, and this new series is certainly a wonderful representation of that idea.
It's pretty bizarre, totally chaotic, and a little bit compulsive, I found.
It certainly is.
You know, I mean, it's sort of like this overtake on politics, you know, because he's sort of like so determined that he does bad things. He's not a bad person, but he does bad things to get where he wants to go.
And often somewhat unknowingly
as well. And he's got that coterie of acolytes around.
His advisors who will perhaps go with him all the way to the presidency.
One of whom is his girlfriend. Yeah. And I mean, I think Ben Platt is actually really terrific in the central role. And at the beginning I thought, oh, you know, I don't know whether I can cope with this because it is so chaotic. It doesn't seem to know which sidetrack it's going to follow next. And then I sort of got to the end of the series and I watched all of the first series.
Good God, Margaret, how did you find the time to do that?
Well,
that's 26 hours you sat there.
No, it's not. It's only about 7 episodes.
7 hours, I think, yeah.
But it's sort of like when I got to the end of it, I thought, I'm hooked on this now. I can't wait for the next
I was hooked
series.
on just one episode. I thought it was absolutely fabulous. And I love his style of direction too, those sweeping cameras and the mise-en-scène that's often so symmetrical, a bit Wes Anderson-like at times. And
but it's all, you know, that adds to the chaos, actually, I found. That
those moving cameras. Yeah. And they're massive cranes as well, aren't they? That swoop and swing around. And there's little Peyton at the centre of it, desperate to get on. And
what are you going to give it?
I'm going to give this 4 stars. I think this is really intriguing.
I'm in two minds about it. I mean, it's so chaotic. I hate the fact that I'm hooked on it. So I think I'm going to hedge my bets and give it 3.5 stars.
It's so hard to have to try so hard all the time.
You're going to change the world, Peyton.
How do you know?